Guys, let's continue on the study of reproduction. So, let's continue on some of the terminologies used in reproduction. Number one is gene. Gene or trait are actually the inherited attributes that are passed from parents to offspring. Okay. Then the second term is alleles. Alleles are pair of genes controlling a contrasting character. By contrasting character means there is an allele responsible for eye, there is an allele responsible for nose or any part of our body. Okay, so if that allele is not found, it means that the child will not actually have that gene or that organ. So allele is a part of gene. Two alleles make one gene. Okay, that is why we have recessive gene and dominant gene. So let us go into recessive gene and dominant gene. Now, dominant gene are actually the obvious gene you see in a particular organism. The gene that is observable is dominant gene. For instance, the gene of color, height, structure, intelligence. Okay, they are actually the dominant gene. Then the recessive gene. The recessive gene are actually the genes that are passed through generation but are not obvious in an organism unless it appears on homozygous traits. Okay, so let us explain what homozygote is, because in gene terms we have homozygous and we have heterozygous. Now, homozygous is when the alleles are the same. Okay, for instance, if you are fair and you got married to a fair lady, so it is assumed that the child you are going to give birth will now have a homozygous gene, because you are fair, you have the gene of fair color, and your wife as well have a gene of fair color as well. Okay, so we call it homozygous. Then heterozygous is when the genes are not the same. For instance, a tall man got married to a short woman, or a short woman got married to a tall man. So the gene or the parents, the generation or their children will actually have heterozygous gene, because your gene for that character or contrasting character is actually different from your spouse. Okay, so we also as we have dominant gene, we have recessive gene. Okay, so we also have chromosome. Chromosome are thread-like structure or thread-like substance that carries the gene. Okay, because all genes are found in the chromosome. So if you are seeing any change in chromosome, it means that it will affect the genes. Okay, and so another term we use in genetics and reproduction is mutation. Okay, mutation is when there is actually change in the generic material or the gene structure or the chromosomal structure of that organism. Okay, that is it. So in our next video we are going to talk about the reproduction in the reproduction structure in male, and also the reproduction structure in women. We have so many things we are going to discuss. After the reproductive structure, we are going to talk about fertilization, we are going to talk about cleavage, we are going to talk about organ formation. I am sure you don't actually want to mix out in this, so do follow me if you're not actually following me, and also share it with your friends as well that will be interested to join as well. And also comment, because from your comments I will be able to do some videos that are going to suit you as well. Okay, see you in the next video.